إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا إنه من يهد الله فهو المهتد ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن سيدنا ونبينا محمد عبده ورسوله يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. إخوة الإيمان السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. We give thanks to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah who created every one of us, who has been existing before every existence come to exist. Allah al-bidayah, laysa lahu al-bidayah. This Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has no beginning. Wala haddu, and he has no middle point. That this is the time that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will be existing. Wala ni'aya, and that is not going to have an end. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was in existence before any other thing comes to an existence. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is still in existence and will continue to be existing when every other existences will stop existing. That's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Lahu bidaya wala haddu wala nihaya. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who has all these three sifat, which every one of us, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't have these three sifat, these three attributes. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't have any of them. But we, as his creator, as his creatures, we are going to pass through these three stages of this attribute. Because there was a time that we were not existing. We now came into existence. While we are existing, we get to a stage that when we get to a particular age in life, we have to be declining back. And that declination will lead us to when we are going to cease existing. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't have all these three attributes. So glory to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Fi sha'nihi wa fi mulkihi wa fi fardaniyatihi. We give thanks to him who has what we don't have. Who doesn't have what we have as human beings. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we are asking him to continue to shower his mercy upon the noble soul of Prophet Muhammed sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who has sent him as a messenger. He has ordained him as a prophet, and he has sent him to all the creatures that he had created. It is this Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that we give glory to. May Allah continue to shower his mercy upon the noble soul of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, his household, his companions, his families, and we that were on his path. May Allah guide us together and bless us with Al-Jannah Firdaus at the end of our life. Today, being another Yom of Jumu'ah, which is the first day of the month of Dhu'l-Qi'dah. We are getting tantamount to the month of Dhul-Hijjah. The Hujjaj, those that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has called, they are preparing now. That we are going gradually, we start going to Makkah and Medina for our Hajj rite. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give them the opportunity to be able to perform the act of the sacrifice and accept it as an act of worship. We that we have gone and we that we are anticipating, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala call us at the right time and let us be fulfilled. And all the right act right, may it be a fulfilled one that you are going to accept from us. Today is the first day of the month of Dhu'l-Qi'dah, year 1445 after the hijrah of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, which is equivalent to the 10th day of the month of May, year 2024. May Allah who has brought us here together, may Allah accept this act of worship. We have been discussing concerning Ad-Duah, which is the weapon of the believers. We have discussed series of activities, series of instructions or injunctions that must be fulfilled before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will accept our request. Today, we're going to start the discussion concerning the activities that you must put in place and the advantages of putting these activities in place that will ensure that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will accept your requests, as far as we are inside the confines of what the Sharia dictates and that of the Sunnah of Nabiyyuna Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We're still going to reference our discussion back to the verse that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned in Quran chapter 2, verse 186. Ba'da a'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Wa bihi nasta'in. Wa isa sa'alaka ibadi anni fa inni qaribun ujibu da'wata da'i idha da'ani falyastajibu li wa liyu'minu bi la'allahum yarshudun. Sadaqallahu al-azim. Allah told Nabiyyuna Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam that, oh, you Muhammad, why is sa'alaka ibadi anni, whenever my servants ask after me from you, and they asking from me, Allah, their creator, that I should do this for them. Fa inni qaribun, you Muhammad, tell them that inni qaribun, I'm very closer to them more than their jugular veins. And ujibu da'wata da'i idha da'ani, whoever among them, all those that will be calling unto me, whenever they call me with the sincerity of purpose, ujibu da'watahum aw ujibu da'watahu, tell them that I'm going to answer their call. Tell him or her that I'm going to answer a call or his call. But on one condition, فَلْيَسْتَجِيبُوا لِي, they should believe in me. Whatever I ask them to do, they should do. وَلْيُؤْمِنُوا بِي, they should totally submit to me, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and believe whatever I decree upon them. لَعَلَّهُمْ يَرْشُدُونَ, if they fulfill all these conditions, if they meet up with all these clauses, لَعَلَّهُمْ يَرْشُدُونَ, definitely me, Allah, I'm going to answer them, and it will indicate that they are already guided. So for them being guided, according to my dictates, according to the tradition of Nabiyyuna Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, I'm going to answer them, I'm going to give them whatever they request from me. That is the condition. We have been discussing this verse since during the Ramadan, and we continue to be discussing it, so that we can know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will always heed to the call of any caller that called him satisfactorily after meeting the condition. Today, the activities that Nabiyyuna Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam told us that whenever we are observing these activities, whenever we are executing these activities, whenever we are carrying out these activities, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to answer our supplications. Number one is an-naflatu qabla salatu zuhr. Nabiyyuna Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, whoever is observing certain number of nafla, certain number of superogatory prayers before the commencement of salatul zuhr, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to answer his prayer. We have discussed concerning invoking unto Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala immediately after the call to prayer. We have discussed, those are the times. But now the activities that you need to do. We have discussed invoking unto Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala after the establishment of the prayer, that is the iqamah, and before the first takbiratul ihram. It's a very short period, but that period is a period that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala used to answer the call of whoever called unto him. Now, what are the things that we need to do? After the activities that we need to do, then we are going to talk about the methodology of doing them. Adabu istijabatu du'a. So today, we are talking about the activities, what you need to do, and when you are supposed to do them. Nabiyyuna Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that if you call unto Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala before salatul zuhr, before the prayer of the sunrise, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to answer your prayer. Abu Ayyubal Ansori narrated to us as he learned under Nabiyyuna Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Inna Abu Ayyubal Sama, that they learned from Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam that all the gates of the heaven, tuftahu inda zawali shams, the gates of the heaven used to be open when the sun reaches the horizon. When the sun reaches the horizon and the scorching sun, the intensity is high and it's about to what? To start dropping. The sun has already risen the horizon. That yes, this intensity is small. When it starts dropping, when the intensity starts dropping, Abu Hurairah radiallahu ta'ala anhu said, Nabiuna Muhammad told them that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala used to leave the gates of the heavens open. فَلَا تُؤْتَجِي, and the gates, they will not be closed أَتَّى يُصَلَّى الظُّهْرَ, until the Salat Zuhr is open and is observed. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala used to accept the prayers, used to accept the supplication of whoever is calling out to Allah at the time that you observe a superogatory prayer before the commencement of what? Salatul Zuhr, when the sun is falling from the horizon. Fawhibbu, Abu Hurairah said, Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam told them that Fawhibbu, I used to love an yas'ada li fiya khairan. I used to love to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give me all my wishes, to grant me all my requests, to grant me all my wishes at this point in time. And I always want to be in a state that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will be pleased with me at this particular point in time. That is, asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for his favors before the commencement of what? Salatul Zuhur, when the sun has fallen from the horizon. That was the first hadith from Abu Hurairah, Abu Ayyubal Ansori. Sayyidatuna Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anha, the wife of Nabiuna Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, said that Qala Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, she said, Anna Rasulullah yuwaddi ala azi arba'atul raka'ati, that Nabiuna Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Or before we bring that of Sayyidatuna Aisha, let's go back to that of another hadith of Abu Ayyubal Ansori. Abu Ayyubal said, Lamma nazala Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam alayya, when Nabiuna Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam arrived at my home. Let's go back to the time that Nabiuna Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam migrated from Mecca to Medina. He stayed some days in Kuba. From Kuba, he entered into Medina. The first masjid Nabiuna Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam built was in Kuba. And the first Jumu'ah he observed was in between Kuba and Medina. So it wasn't the first masjid that he built that he observed Salatul Jumu'ah. The first Salatul Jumu'ah that Nabiuna Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam observed was in the community of Banu Salim ibn al-Hawf. Because he was in Kuba, he arrived there on Monday and he spent 4 days there. So he got to the house of Kulzum ibn al-Adil. Kulzum ibn al-Adil. Kulzum ibn al-Adil was from the Banu Auf in Medina. But they were outside at the outskirts of Medina, a community called what? A location called Kuba. Kuba to Masjid of Nabiuna Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is 4.4 kilometers to the present day Masjid Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So Nabiuna Muhammad was in the house of Kulzum ibn al-Hadid. It was there that they got a parcel of land and they built the first masjid, the first mosque after the mosque of Haram in Mecca. The first mosque that Nabiuna Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam will participate in the construction was what? The Masjid of Kuba. And this is the masjid that Nabiuna Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, whoever goes there, he observed his ablution and he observed 2 rak'ah. He performed his ablution and he performed 2 rak'ah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will reward him as if he performed a whole lesser hajj. Just going to Masjid Kuba with your full ablution, as Nabiuna Muhammad taught us, and observe 2 nafla alone, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will reward you as if you perform a lesser hajj. So Nabiuna Muhammad spent 4 days in this place. On Friday morning, he left. He was going to Medina because the residents of Medina, they are awaiting him So on getting to the location of Salim ibn al-Hawf, they now told him, Ya Muhammad, you shouldn't just cross and just pass away without staying with us. You have stayed 4 days with our cousins. They will be so proud of themselves on day of Qiyamah that, it was in our location, it was in our house that Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam stayed. Nabi Muhammad, please stay with us as well. So it was in that location that Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam observed his first Salatul Jummah in his life. From there he got to Medina. So on getting to Medina, the residents of the Medina, the Ansar, they were waiting for him, and some of the Muhajir. Among the Muhajir that were already in Medina was Mus'ab ibn Umair. Mus'ab ibn Umair was already in Medina, that he was teaching people Islam. And among the prominent people that accepted religion of Islam from Mus'ab ibn Umair was whom? Muhammad ibn Maslama. They were there in anticipation of the arrival of Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So when Nabi Muhammad got to Medina, everybody among the Ansar, they were expecting him to come and stay in their house. They want to receive him as their August visitor. Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam now told them that you people should leave my camel. Da'uha fa innaha ma'mura. You people should leave my camel. It is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that is directing this my camel, and the name of that camel is called Kaswa. So you people just leave it. Wherever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala directed him to, or directed the camel to, that is where we are going to build our masjid. And in anybody, whoever house, or in front of whoever's house, the camel stop, that is the person that is going to be my what? That is going to be my landlord. And it is that person's house that I'm going to stay. Alhamdulillah, the camel stayed, he stopped, he baraka, he knelt down in the place that the Masjid Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is cited to today. And Nabi Muhammad was part of the engineer, he was part of the laborers that supported the construction of that masjid. He left here. The camel was going up and down. He was going up and down before he stopped in the house of whom? Abu Ayyubal Ansori. The camel stayed in the house of Abu Ayyubal Ansori, and Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said to him, this is the house of the person that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has chosen for me as a home that I'm going to stay. So Abu Ayyubal Ansori, he received Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam as he has never received any kind of visitor in his life. Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam brought lots of opportunities to the house of Abu Ayyubal Ansori. So Abu Ayyubal Ansori is the one where we want to narrate his hadith that he reported from Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He said, "Lamma nazala Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam alayya." When Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam arrived at my home, which I received him as a what? As a visitor. Ra'aytuhu yuzimu arba'an qabla Zuhr. That I saw Nabi Muhammad, I discovered, I observed that it has become part of him. It has become a tradition that I do see him every day, observing 4 raka'ats before Salatul Az-Zuhr. Ra'aytuhu yuzimu. If they say yuzimu, it's something that has become part of him, like lazimi that the Tiyariya used to do. They say we are going to lazimi every evening, that they will go to Zawiya to go and spread the white cloth. They say we are going to lazimi. Lazimi means lazama, something that has become part of you. Like you now, you can't live your life without drinking water. You can't live your life without doing what? Without eating. So the food and the water, and you must wear clothes. It has become something al-mutalazam, that has become part of you that you must do. So the arba'atu raka'at, Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam yuzammu. Nabi Muhammad, it has become part of him that every day he must do it. So Abu Ayyubal Ansori said, I never saw Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam in a day without observing this word, arba'atu raka'at, qabla salatu zuhur. He's doing it because of what? Faqala Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. he now asked Nabiuna Muhammad, and you know one good thing about these Sahabas, about these companions, they will observe Nabiuna Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam to do whatever he's doing. They don't interrupt him because he wasn't an ordinary person like them. He's a human being, but he has some uniqueness. He has some characteristics that any other person never possesses. Nobody is possessing it now, and nobody will possess it tomorrow at Dhu'l-Qi'dah, because another kind of Nabiuna Muhammad will never come. That is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, لَقَدْ كَانَ فِي رَسُولُ اللَّهِ أُسْوَةٌ حَسَنَةٌ. It's not just the character alone. There are some innate abilities that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave him that Allah will not give any other person. And nobody has ever possessed such kind of characters. So, Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said to Abu Ayyubal Ansori when he asked from him that, why this thing has become part of you? Is it another compulsory prayer? Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said no. Faqala Rasul innahu lamma zalla shamsa. Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said lamma zalla shamsa. When the sun might have attained the horizon and is falling, lamma zalla, when something is falling back. Futiyati abwabu sama, that the gates of the heaven, they used to be widely open. Not just one gate. Abwab, the gates of the heaven used to be widely open. Fala yughlaku minha babu hatta tusalla zuhra. Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam told Abu Ayyubal Ansori that Fala yughlaku minha babu, that none of the door will be closed hatta yusalla zuhra, until Salat Zuhr is what? Is observed. I hope you are following. Abu Ayyubal met Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam that I discovered that every day, every time before Salat Zuhr, you used to observe 4 raka'ats, which has become a sunnah that me and you should also do what? We should be observing. Why is it so? Nabi Muhammad now told him that after the sun might have fallen from the horizon, all the doors of the heaven are going to be widely open. None of the doors, among the numbers of the doors, which we know, are 7 doors, because we have 7 heavens. So each of the heaven has a door, which we have already discussed. So none of these doors will be closed except after Salat Zuhr. And they will be widely left open because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants the request of the servant to go through those gates and come to him so that he can grant them their wishes. Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, فَأَنَّ أُحِبُّ أَنْ يُرْفَعَ لِي فِي تِلْكَ السَّاعَةِ خَيْرٌ. Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam now told Abu Ayyubal Ansori that at this point in time, that the doors are widely open before Salat Zuhr, I want all my good deeds, all my requests to be taken to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala before those doors will be what? Will be locked. So brothers, we should not just be anticipating the commencement of Salat Zuhr. We should be earlier in the masjid before the Salat Zuhr will be what? Will be observed. So that after the call to prayer, before the commencement of Salat Zuhr, which is not more than 10 minutes, we should be in the masjid to be asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for his favors after observing 4 raka'ats of nawafil. It's not compulsory, it's superogatory. But Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam told us the beauty, which we also need to what? To also try as much as possible to gain from them. Sayyidatuna Aisha radiyallahu ta'ala anha, the wife of Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, radiyallahu ta'ala anha, said, Anna Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, yuwaddi ala aji arba'atu raka'ati. That Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is so consistent with these 4 raka'at. Yuwaddi, it has become blood and water in his body, that he doesn't miss it. That at times, whenever he misses it, he used to see him paying it back, and it's just a supererogatory prayers. So Ummi Habeebat narrated again that Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to observe 4 raka'at of supererogatory prayer before Salat Zuhr, and 4 raka'ats after Salatul Zuhr. But the one that Abu Ayyubal Ansori narrated is more, it has more strength than that of Ummi Habeebat. So invariably what we are saying here is that Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam encourages us to be doing what? To be observing 4 raka'ats before Salatul Zuhr. And after the nafla, before Salatul Zuhr, we should ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for whatever we want from Him, so that He can grant us our wishes. Kama qala Nabiyuna Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That is number 1. Of the activity that we must be observing, that we must be doing, that we should be doing, so that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can accept our supplication. Number 2, baqiya fil masjid wa intisari salatul ukhra. This one is very difficult to do, except those that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give them the strength and opportunity to do it. You know, especially in advanced countries, in European countries, time is money. Time is money. For the person that wants to go to work, he knows that he needs nobody to come and tell him that it is time for him to what? To go to work. He knows that he must not miss his train. Maybe somebody working in UK, somebody working, that he needs to go and join a train to go to work. And nobody is going to place down a register that you must come and mark the register when you resume to school, when you resume to work. You know that it is the number of minutes, number of microseconds, number of hours that you use in your place of work that they used to pay you. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us in the Holy Quran, that on the day of Qiyamah, they will tell us, Ikra kitabaka, kaffa binafsika, yawma alayka asiba. They are going to give us our record. Ikra kitabaka, they will give it to us. Read. Read your record. Kaffa binafsika, yawma alayka hasiba. Whatever you find in your record will be what is going to be used to judge you today on the day of judgment. It's an ayah in the Holy Quran. So the way that your biometric is being used to pay you in this facility that we are, it's also being practiced. If you are to resume by 8 a.m. and you resume by 5 minutes after 8, you know that 5 minutes will not be paid because it is an automated system. So at the end of the month, it is that minus 5 minutes that they will deduct from that day. The following day, you resume work at 8:10. The third day, you resume work by 8:30. But if you resume by 7:30, nobody will pay you the 30 minutes before the 8. But if you resume late after 5-10 minutes, they will deduct it. For the person that is managing time because of the expense or the expensiveness of the time, it will be very difficult for them to take this second time of these activities into cognizance, except whomever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives the opportunity. It's not something that is not doable, but it needs to be very difficult. And what is it? It's for you to observe one salat finish, to wait in the masjid, be expecting the what? Another time for the salat. We all know that it's very difficult. Like the salat in Subuhi that we observe at the dawn hour. How many of us has been on the prayer mat, either in the mosque or the one you pray alone, because there are no Muslim brothers to congregate with? You pray it alone in your abode, in your lodge. How many of us has been on that prayer mat since that time and be waiting for what? For Salat Juma like this? Let's look at the number of hours. Salat Subuhi here now is around 5:30, 5:35. You pray it for 10 minutes, right? Let's assume from 6 a.m. Who among us was in anticipation in a particular spot or at a particular spot waiting for Salat Juma that we are going to observe by 1:30 or 2 p.m.? How many people can do that? We know we have a lengthy number of hours between that Salat Subuhi to Salat Zuhr. So, Salat Zuhr to Salat al-Asr is a working period, even if you have just 2 hours. You must go to work because in some places, people in maybe federal or state government parastatals agencies or ministries that are working under government, they close by 4. Other private organizations or some multinational, they close by what? By 5. So that after Salatul Zuhr and Salatul Asr, let's say 2 hours, will you now go and sit down in the masjid and your services are being expected to be rendered in the office? You can see that it's very difficult to do. After Salatul Asr to Salatul Maghrib, you know we have almost 3-4 hours. 3 hours. After 4 p.m. to 7 p.m., let's assume. How many people will be able to sit down because maybe you are closing by 4, by 5? You want to go to do what? To go back home. Because you are stressed, you are tired for the day. But the only time that we used to have this opportunity, whomever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives the opportunity, is in between Salatul Maghrib and Salatul Isha. If you are not on transit like the Lagosians. A Lagosian, a worker in Lagos, that will leave his home maybe 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. and he will close maybe by 5. Maybe before he gets home it's another 1 a.m. or 12 a.m. in the midnight. So part of the time that we can take advantage, that we are going to read and we are going to see from the practical aspect of it from Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is in this hadith we are going to talk. So after one prayer, in anticipation for another prayer, waiting for the next prayer, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala used to be proud of us. And it's a period that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala used to grant our request. Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, one very day. This hadith was narrated by Abdullah ibn Amr. Abdullah ibn Amr. That indifa Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam ila al-masjid li'ita'i al-bushra aw li yubashir al-jalisin. That one very day, after they observe Salatul Maghrib finish, those that want to leave, they left. Those that want to sit, that they want to wait for Salatul Isha, they were in the masjid. And Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he himself left on this particular day. He left. After some time, they now saw Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam now rushed into the masjid. Salatul Maghrib. Yawman ma Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That one very day they observed Salatul Maghrib with Nabi Muhammad. Abdullah ibn Amr. He was the one that narrated this hadith. That Faraja man raja. Those that want to leave the masjid, they left. Wa aqaba man aqaba. Those that want to retain themselves in the masjid in anticipation of what? Salatul Isha. They waited in the masjid. Fada'ala Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam musri'an. Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam now rushed back into the masjid, indicating that even him after Salatul Maghrib, he did what? He left. Wa huwa yalhas. And Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was panting. He was panting means he has run, so he was gasping. So he ran from his house or wherever he was to come back into the masjid. What did he come to do? I hope you are following. What did Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam came back to do? Fajalasa ala rukbatayhi. Immediately he entered into the masjid. Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam now sat down on his laps. He sat down on his laps, on his 2 legs. Faqala, he now said, he told the people that are already seated in the masjid, that did not exit the masjid after Salatul Maghrib. He now told them, Abshiru hadha rabbakum. Abshiru. Oh, good news to you people that you are already in the masjid. Those of you that you do not what? That do not leave after Salatul Maghrib. That good news to you people. Hadha rabbukum. This is your Lord. He didn't even say our Lord. Hadha rabbukum. This is your Lord. Qad fataha lakum baban min abwabis sama. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has opened baban, a door, min abwabis sama lakum. Allah has opened one door among the doors of the heavens. He has opened it for you people. Who are those that he's referring to? The people that sat down in the masjid after Salatul Maghrib. That they didn't do what? That they didn't go out. Are you following? He now told them after he ran into the masjid and he was panting. So only God knows the level of the acceleration that Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam accelerated for you to be panting. You can be jogging, you get to a stage that you just sit down and people might not realize that you have just completed your jogging. It depends on the number of steps and the energy that you exerted while you are jogging. Not talk of the person that ran, that they told him, in the next 90 seconds, you must complete what? 100 meters. Because there is a gift that they want to give him. The sprinters, you see them. Everybody wants to win the what? Wants to win the gift. So they will do and undo to get to the rope. At the point of completing of the what? Of the 100 meters or the 200 meters or 1,000 meters. So level of the panting of Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was so high, according to Abdullah ibn Amr, that the way Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam ran into the masjid, what was panting. He now told them, those that were seated, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, your Lord, fataha lakum baban min abwabis sama, He has opened one door among the doors of the heaven, which we all know that we have plenty doors, right? He now said, glad tidings, good news to you people that Allah has done this for. Yubahimukumul malaikat. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is praising you people in front of the angels. Allahu Akbar. Those that just seated in the masjid, but they are not discussing politics. They were not discussing the number of men that have slept with that girl. They were not discussing how they are going to be winning contracts and how to inflate figures. They were not plotting on how to bring somebody down. What were they doing? They were doing zikr. And which type of zikr? Which we are going to talk about. Wala zikrullahi al-akbaru that we used to talk. Is it the type of the zikr that our brothers, our sisters are doing around? That you see azakir, that you see azakira, they will be singing together and they say they are doing zikr. Or the one that man will have already completed his intoxicants. He are taking 3-3, he are taking NSC, he are taking brandy. And you now come out. And you now say Jazbu. Jazbu means that you go inside the spirit. Did Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam ever went into spirit for once? Brothers, we are doing all this as a reawakening. That we should all wake up from our state of slumber. That we should not allow these people to be deceiving us. And I said something last week, that seclusion that our people used to do, that we not allow them to observe any council salawat in congregation. That to the extent that some of them will not even go out. He said he made a covenant. He has made a covenant with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that will be in Khalwa for 3 years over the wali. The Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, did he ever observe any Khalwa? The only time that Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was in seclusion was when he was in Dhu'l-Qi'dah on his transit journey to Medina. And it wasn't only him. It was him and Abu Bakr. And the time that they were in Ad-Duah, where they used to live, around in the vicinity of Kaaba, he wasn't the only one. And that was where Umar ibn Khattab radiallahu ta'ala, that was where he went to meet Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and those that have accepted the religion of Islam. So, in the issue of Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Fishirat al-Nabawiyya, where did we see that Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam observe anything called Khalwa? Total seclusion. Where, even the time that he was about to die, he still went to the masjid that they packaged him like this, that they supported him. Before he now told Muru Abu Bakr, Fadiya Umar Nas, go and instruct Abu Bakr that he should lead his prayers. That I've gotten to a stage that I can't even lead any longer. But before getting to that stage, they supported him to the masjid. They pushed Abu Bakr forward. Go and lead us. Abu Bakr said, I can't lead Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. My master to be leading him. These are part of the lessons we should continue learning from the Sahabatul Kiram. If you are your boss, you are going somewhere, don't stay in front of him. While I was growing up, my mother told me something that you see the duck, D-U-C-K, agwagwa, pepeye, our own chicks, they are always in front of her. But that of Engr, they need to be at the back. If you are going somewhere with an elderly person, you are going somewhere with your imam, you are going somewhere with somebody that you know is an honorable person, you stay behind him, except you say, come and stay in front. That means he has given you an instruction. Forget about faith. You should value the position or what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given the individual. So, seclusion in Islam, where did we see it? Where did it originated from? Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam never did it. Third, Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam now told those that were in the masjid, waiting for what? Salatul Isha. That did not what? That did not go what? Yubayibukumullahu rabbukum. Yubayibukumul malaika. Allah is so proud of you people in front of the angels. Let's go back to when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala called the angel. He called them that inni ja'ilu wa iskulna lil malaikatu inni ja'ilu fil ardi alifa. Allah said, I want to create a vicegerent. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't have Khalifa. The way some of us are the Khalifa of our father. The way some Khalifa now, they have tarnished the image of the good work that their father did yesterday. Some Khalifa of today, they are bastards. Because the good reputation, the integrity their father has built yesterday, they have destroyed it today. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't have Khalifa. When we Allah, kulina. If you are talking about kulina, it's a plural. And nobody should use kulina except whom? Allah officially. He's one that can say na'anu, we. And he's referring to himself. If me and you are talking now, we say ana. Ana, me. All of us together, na'anu. It's only Allah that can say na'anu because he was one that said inna na'anu nazalna zikra wa inna lahu lahafizun. Inna, we Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Inna, definitely. Nahanu, we Allah. So me and you individually can never say we because we is what? It's a plural term. Nazalna zikra. We are the one that nazala zikra. The zikra there is what? It's Al-Quran. Wa inna lahu lahafizun. And we Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala are the one that we are going to be what? We will be protecting it. Allah said, Iskulina lil malaikatu inni ja'ilu fil ardi khalifa. I want to create somebody on the earth surface. We have agreed that no khalifa for Allah, right? Because of the Khalifa, the Khulafa that we have now, somebody gave birth to them. Then who is the woman that gave birth to Khalifa of Allah? If there is any, and there wasn't any, and there is none, and there won't be any. In Nigeria, Khalifa, I want a representative on the earth, not representing Allah. I just want a symbol on the earth. They now told Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, why do you want to create any other person? Atajalu fiya man yufsidu fiya wa yasfiku dima'a wa nahnu nusabbihuka wa nuqaddisu laka qala inni a'lamu ma la ta'lamun. They told Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah, don't create them. Nahnu nusabbihuka, we have been worshiping you, we have been doing a lot of ta'alilat, we have been doing a lot of tasbihat, we have been doing a lot of ta'amidat. Nusabbihu laka wa nuqaddisu laka. We respect your sovereignty. We uphold you. We believe in you. We are always going to be subservient to you. Allah, why do you want to create any other being? Allah said, keep short. Inni a'lamu ma la ta'lamu. You guys should keep short. You are not a consultant to me. Because I brought down myself just to discuss with you, to share a discussion with you. Inni a'lamu ma la ta'lamu. Me, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I know everything that you don't know. What you have not even conceived, not to talk of what? You have not cogitated it. Not to talk of conceiving it. Not to talk of now thinking about the existence. Allah said, keep quiet. And what was the reason why? That they told Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala not to create us. Not to create Adam alayhi salamullah. Because there was an existence before Nabiuna Adam alayhi salamullah. And they were the jinns. They existed before Nabi Adam alayhi salamullah. So they perpetrated a lot of nefarious activities on the earth, to the extent that it led to their own massacre. So they were corrupting the land. That was where they told Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Atajalu ma yufsidu fiha. Do you want to create those that will be splitting blood on the earth? So the Boko Haram of today that we saw, that we know now, they are elderly ones, their ancestors among the jinns had already existed. They splitted. Ataspiku dima'a. Ataspiku dima'a. The senses of being that were splitting blood on the earth. Because those ones too, they used to kill themselves. Let's go to Surah Al-Baqarah. You see it there. Ataspiku ad-dima means blood. Atasifiku, they will be splitting blood on the surface. Watufsidu fil ard, and they will be taking bribes. They will be committing adultery. They will be doing a lot of unjust activities and unlawful activities. They told Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it is we, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that told them that keep quiet, I'm going to create them. It is we that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that used to be proud of on the day of Arafah, that all the Ujjaj, they will be on the Arafat plain. Everywhere will be plain white, except those women that are in their work, in their menstrual cycle. It's not compulsory for a woman that goes on Hajj to wear white, ihram. It's not compulsory for her. You can wear any color. It's just that white symbolizes what? Honor and dignity and integrity. So in case you go for Hajj on the day of Arafah, or during when you are doing your tawaf, or the 4 or 5 days of the Hajj, you now see a woman wearing different color. It's even better for her to wear a black cloth. So don't see it as if she has committed anything. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will be proud of us on what? On the day of Arafah. We will now be telling them that that day that I said I want to create them, you are asking me not to create them. See the way they are worshiping me. That is why every one of us, if we struggle to be among the creatures of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that Allah will be proud of. So, for those that are sitting down inside the masjid, between Salat al-Maghrib and Isha, Allah will now be telling the angel, Yubayyibukumul malaika. We will be proud of them. We will be proud of us. In front of whom? In front of the angels. Brothers, let's take advantage. Between Salat al-Maghrib and Salat al-Isha. Not if you don't have any sensitive activity to go attend to. Let's sit down. The interval between Maghrib and Isha is, in some places, is less than 1 hour. Maximum is 1 hour. Maximum is 1 hour, 10 minutes. You hardly see 1 hour, except those that used to defy it. Because Salat al-Isha is supposed to be the last prayer you observe and go to bed. So that you will not be roaming up and down again and go and be sitting down in the assembly at the junction. Because some, after they observe their Salat al-Isha finish, that is when they go to Majalisa. They will go to Majalisa, all the good work that they have done throughout the day, they will go to Majalisa and go and destroy everything. They have an assembly point that they go and sit down. All the women that is going up and down in the street, that is where they will start discussing them. Instead of them to go to their various homes and go and sit down with the family and plan for their future. Some will go and sit down where they are selling suya. It is around 11, 12 p.m. that you now go out to the house. On getting to the house, you will have become useless. The wife will not enjoy it. The children are already slept off. So, Bayna Salat al-Maghrib wa Salat al-Isha is a time that is to be time for what? For istijaba. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will be proud of us. That, oh you my angel, see them. They are waiting for Yaqulullah. Allah will now say, Unzur ila ibadi. Oh, you my angels, look unto this my servant. They have observed a particular compulsory prayer finish. And that compulsory prayer that we finish is which type of prayer? Salatul Maghrib. Wahum yantasiru. Wahum yantasiru ukhra. And they, as they are sitting down, they are expecting another compulsory prayer that they want to observe. Just because of whom? Because of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I hope you are getting it. That was the hadith that Abdullah ibn Amr narrated to us as he got it from Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam told us again, Ala adullukum ala man yabghullahu min al-khatoya. Should I tell you one particular thing that you will be doing that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will be proud of you, and it will be erasing away your khatoya, your misconducts? Should I tell you one thing that you should be doing? وَيَرْفَعُ فِيهِ darajat, and Allah will be using that activity to elevate you. Allah will be using that activity to support you and support your family. Your children that you have been laboring for, you are not being happy with their attitudes. All your effort has always been abortive. You are working for the past 10 years. You are just stagnant in a particular position. The junior staff, they are now ahead of you. Every time they are doing promotion, they need to forget you. That is when your value will not be found. Anytime your boss sees you like this, you are always looking like a poo-poo in front of him. Anytime you are talking to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, your mouth used to be smelling in front of Allah. Allah is not even ready to listen to you. Should I tell you one particular thing? Yamullah that you will be doing, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will be using that activity to wipe away your atrocities if you are totally submissive sincerely to Him. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will use that activity. Yarfa'u darajat. Will you be using it to elevate you? Everybody will be asking, how is he doing it? Your bosses will be collecting 10 million, 5 million as salary. You will be collecting 150,000 naira. You will be, Allah will bless it for you. You will be sending children to universities. You will be building houses. Inside that 150, they will not be asking you, do you have any of that business? You say, I don't have. It is the blessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that is in it. And your bosses that are riding big cars with big fat killing salaries, they won't have a spoke of bicycle. Some of them will not even realize that all these things they are enjoying, it will come to an end. Because they are government facilities, they are government vehicles, they are places of work enjoyment. Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, let me tell you one thing that we do, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will be elevated, is ba'ul hudui inda makarihi. That you should be observing, or whenever you are observing, is ba'ul huduhi inda makarihi. The time, maybe during winter. During winter, that to use water to touch your body used to be very difficult. That the winter period, the winter season used to be very severe. And that is when you now submit yourself to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that despite the condition of the weather, I'm going to use this water to do what? To do wudu, to perform ablution. You are not even mixing the water with, let me raise the temperature of this water. That you mix it to be a warm water. You are using that cold water to touch your body during cold season, during wet season. Is ba'ul udu'i inda makari. The time that you know that your body cannot withstand that coldness, that wetness. You are now doing that because of whom? Because of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَانْتَسِرُ الصَّلَاةِ بَعْدَ الصَّلَاةِ. You now observe that, you perform that ablution. Despite the fact that your body is not comfortable, but because of the fear of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you observe that, you perform that ablution. وَانْتَسِرُ الصَّلَاةِ. And you are now waiting for the establishment of a prayer to commence. You have finished one prayer. You are now waiting for another salat al-ukhra to commence. فَذَلِكُمُ الرِّبَاطِ فَذَلِكُمُ الرِّبَاطِ فَذَلِكُمُ الرِّبَاطِ. As Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said it 3 times. That you are doing it, فَذَلِكُمُ الرِّبَاطِ. This is a very glad tidings to you. فَذَلِكُمُ الرِّبَاطِ. This is a very good opportunity for you to meet from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. فَذَلِكُمُ الرِّبَاطِ. This is an opportunity for you to become waliyullah, a friend of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And brothers, we know several times, I've been telling us, they should not brainwash any one of us with the title of Anna waliyullah, Anna waliyullah, Anna waliyullah, I'm a wali. Don't let anybody to brainwash you with it. What is the meaning of wali? It's just a friend. And friends has levels. Like Nabi Ibrahim alayhi salamullah now, he's a friend of Allah. Allah can call him Habibi. Habibullah means friend of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Khalilullah means friend of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but there is difference between Habibullah wa Khalilullah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, me myself, Takhazallahu Ibrahima Khalila. Go to Surah Al-Baqarah. Allah said, Wa takhazallahu Ibrahima Khalila. Me, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I'm the one that chose him as my beloved friend. So friendship has what? Has level. So if you are Habib, or your wife is calling me Habibi, or your wife is calling you Habibi, your pet name, is my friend. Hubi is my love. So Khalili, my chosen, like that Christian, one church along Saleh, my two road. Their own name is what? Lord's chosen. That means Lord choose them, right? So you too, you should let Allah to do what? To choose you. Takhadallahu Khalilallah. So Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Fazalikum ribad," for you to become a waliyullah, a friend of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And if you are not a friend, you are adu. You are an enemy. So don't let anybody ever do that walili, yes, everything has levels. Even the waliyullah, they have their levels. As we have first class, we have 2-1, we have 2-2, we have third class, we have pass. Advice to what? Advice to withdraw. Because there is nothing in your CGPA or CPA. They will tell you so that you have a negative, so that before the Senate will send you away from the school. Advice to withdraw honorably. So also in the realm, in the spiritual level of waliyullah, this is the classes that every one of us belongs to. It is you now say, I want to be in first class, so that you can get closer to Solihun. Because we have Anbiyaullah, we have the Solihun, we have the Malaika before we get to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The marhala of Solihun is quite different from Rasulullah, it's quite different from Anbiyaullah. The righteous ones, the majority are righteous, but they are not Rasulullah, they are not Anbiyaullah. So also, among the companions of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, we have grades, we have levels. فَلْيَفْعَلُوا مَا تَشَاءُ فَإِنَّهُمْ أَهْلُ الْبَدْرِ. The people that witnessed Badr, they said they should be doing whatever they like, because they have witnessed Badr. All the companions that witnessed Badr, they are not in the same level with those that witnessed Uhud. Those that witnessed Uhud, they are not in the same level with those that witnessed Khandaq. Those that witnessed all these three, they are not in the same level with those that witnessed Tabuk. Those are the 4 principal battles that Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam fought that we know. There are other ones. Those ones are Saraya. They are not Gazawa. Anyone that Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam did not participate inside is not a Gazawa. And this Gazwa Tabuk has 2 names. So the people that participated in that one, they are not in the same level with those people that participated in Badr, because it has Tabuk and Jayshul Umara. That is not where we are going. Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam told us that part of the time that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala used to answer the supplication is whenever you completed a salah, a fara'id, or a faridus salah, and when tazilul ukhra, you are now waiting for another salatul farida to come in, which are now established that the one that can be simple for us to do is between salatul maghrib and salatul isha. That we should not waste that period. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it very easy for every one of us. Inna Allah wa malaikatahu yusalluna ala nabi ya ayyuhalladhina amanu sallu alayhi wa sallim taslima. Who has given us this opportunity to be here today? May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept it as an act of ibadah. What we have been discussing, for those of us that don't join us, is the activities that we need to do before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will answer our supplications. And bi qudratillahi ta'ala, I'm going to mention 7. But today I'm going to mention 3, which we have mentioned 2. Number 1 is the observance of 4 raka'ats of superogatory nafla before the commencement of Salat al-Zuhr. And I brought at least 3 ahadiths of Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam to ascertain this. Or 4 ahadiths. 2 of Abu Ayyubal Ansori, 1 of Aisha, and the other 4th one is that of Ummi Habeebat. Number 2, time that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will be granting our request, if we take cognizance of that particular period, is after completion of one fardu salah, while we sit down in the masjid in anticipation of what? The next salah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala used to answer every request that is being requested from him. And what is going to be the advantage of those that sit or that sat in between one salah to another salah? We have mentioned it. And now Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam rushed down to go and give good news to those that were sitting down. We have mentioned it. Now number 3, among the things that we need to be doing for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant us our request is as-sadaqah. As-sadaqah. Sadaqah, giving charity. The time we are talking about zakat in year 2022 in this masjid here, I differentiated between az-zakat and sadaqah. And I told us the 7 people that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned in Surah At-Tawbah, that these are the elite people that are due for what? That are due for zakat. And I mentioned some of our Muslim brothers here that are taking one zakat. That somebody is giving you that zakat yearly, that you didn't merit it. You are not among the people that are supposed to take that zakat. And I told us, I suggested, that if you know you have the level of iman, tell them that they should remove your name from the 100,000. Because what is the essence of zakat? The zakat is for somebody to purify his own money and give you the one that is dirty inside the money, so that the accountability will be lesser in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is the essence of zakat. That's why you see Ahlul Tasawwuf, the Sufis, they say they are doing tazkiyah. After tazkiyah, they now take you to the level of tarbiyah. After tarbiyah, you now do what? You now usul for Ahlul Suf. Zakat is quite different from what? It's different from sadaqah. Sadaqah, Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and Ahlul Bayt, is haram for them to take sadaqah, to give them charity. But they can take what? They can take gift. I explained this. The sadaqah and khidmah given to Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and Ahlul Bayt. Ahlul Bayt are the family of Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. His cousins, everybody that associated with him biologically in the family tree. Those are the ones we call Ahlul Bayt. Abu Bakr, Umar, is not, they are not Ahlul Bayt. But Ali is Ahlul Bayt because he's a what? He's a cousin to Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Also an in-law because he married Fatima. And he Aulen Dangi. So Ahlul Bayt, they are not entitled to sadaqah. So if you know that your level 2 has attained to that, you too cannot, you might not take sadaqah. Like me now, you can't look at me and come and give me sadaqah. Because if you are more than something and you are still taking that thing, you are going to die in that state. If they steal a hen now, or they steal a rago, you can't come and point to me because Allah has blessed me more than that. So why would you not come and give me sadaqah? There are some people that need to and give me sadaqah. Go and give the less privileged people. The essence of zakat and sadaqah is to alleviate people from what? From poverty. And whoever comes to you for sadaqah, وَمَنْ سَائِلَ فَلَا تَنِعَ. Whoever comes to you for sadaqah, فَلَا تَنِعَ. Don't be oblivion on those kind of people. Just tell them, I don't have. فَلَا تَنِعَ. Don't humiliate them with action, with body language, or by mere uttering foul languages to them. And your hands are there, your legs are there, your eyes are, unless you are just a lazy person. Why can't you go and look for work? Fala taniha. Quran told us that we should not do that. You just excuse them, Aleba Musa, you let him go. And as sadaqah, kama qala Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he told us, man tasaddaqa adin bi sadaqatin min tayyibin. Whoever amongst you, give charity min tayyibin, from something that is lawful, indicating that if you steal, you now use the money to go and do something good, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not take it as an act of worship from you. Allah will not accept it. Example. Somebody stole government money. The way they are stealing government money, the way they are stole government money. You can see how EFCC is sending up all of them up and down now. Somebody and his daughter yesterday or day before yesterday, they should go and bring so millions before they will be free. People that they will be coming and everywhere will be shaking. See how small boys are dealing with them. Because they don't have shame. If you steal all this money, they give you everything about Nigeria, where are you going to take it to? The people that have integrity, that have pedigree, that they died, they wrote their name on the gold yesterday. That is why we are still reckoning with them. Because they are after name, they are after legacy, they are not after property. Go to Shagali, go and look, where is their house? You go to Sokoto, go and look for the house of Saheed Bello. Go to Ilefe, Ikene, Ogun State here. Go and look which type of property the Awolowo has. Go to Ogbomoso, go and look at the kind of property that Akitola has. If you see, you'll be amazed that the people that everybody is talking about them for decades, so this is what they acquire. They are after name, they are not after property, they are not after material. But today's leaders that we have, they are after money. They don't care. They don't care how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to destroy their head. If any one of them stole Nigerian money and he built the mosque like that of Masjid al-Haram in Makkah for us, we will go there, we go and pray, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not reward him for one kobo. Because the money that he used to build that masjid is not a lawful money. But we are going to be praying there and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will be accepting our prayers. If somebody stole money, somebody is working in beauty. You know beauty is haram. Any product from beauty, except maybe Martina. And if you have a way girl, we should not drink that Martina again. Because it's coming from where they are preparing something that Allah doesn't want. If somebody takes the money from there and he sponsors you on Hajj, you better go. Don't say the money is from beauty. That is where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has decreed that your own sponsorship will come from. But he that sponsors you, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not reward him. I hope you are getting it. So Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Man tasaddaqa ajun bi sadaqati min tayyibin." Whoever amongst you gives charity with something that is lawful, illa Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala akhadha ar-rahmanu bi yaminihi. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will open his right hand. Akhazahu. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will now collect that sadaqah. You are giving somebody on the edge of it, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala right hand is widely open. As you are giving him, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is also collecting it. That means he's accepting it. If the charity you are giving is from a lawful source. Brothers, it doesn't mean that yad in Arabic means hand, rijlu means leg, rash means head, ainu means eye, anfu means nose, famu means mouth. Go. It doesn't mean because we say yadullahi means Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has this type of hand. That's why I keep telling us every time we should be very careful from the malams, the so-called malams. Some, because they have good accent of Arabic, they can even speak Arabic more than their mother's tongue, mother's language, right? They will now be twisting the hadith of Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. On some with another fikir. Apart from understanding Arabic language. Some, because of supremacy, that want to let them know that we are the one in charge, because they want followers. They will not be interpreting the ayat of Quran, the ahadith of Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam to suit their own purpose so that they can have a lot of followership. So if you are talking about yadullah is not this kind of hand, though. Because they will tell you, Allah maina de anu, irwana anu ne. We should be very careful. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will accept that charity, that sadaqah with his right hand. Wa in kana tamratan tarbin fi kafir rahman. Even if it is a seed of a corn, a seed of a maize, a seed of a millet, or that seed inside the inside date. Even if it is that ordinary seed that you used to do what? To give as a sadaqah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will collect. Atta takunu azamu min al-jabal. That seed will not be on the right hand of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Atta takunu azamu min al-jabal. till that seed will now what? Will germinate and will now become bigger than a mountain. That little charity that you are giving from something that is what? That is lawful, that the source is halal. Allah will receive it. Is it Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that wants to use it? No, because he wants to reward you. Kama yurabbi ahadukum fuluhu aw fasilahu. The way every one of you used to nurture the calf of your camel and the lamb of your sheep. If a camel gives birth, the baby of the camel used to be very, very tiny. If you see a sheep goat, the sheep that used to give birth to our rams, if you see their baby, immediately is being delivered. They used to be very, very tiny, very, very skinny. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will preserve that seed of charity that you have given. He will preserve it the way you are preserving your calf of your camel. Allah, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam just used camel. It can be any of your animal that you are rearing at home, that you are nursing or you are nurturing till it now become what? A big animal. That is how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will preserve your seed of charity till you become like a what? Like a mountain. These are the beauties of what? Of giving sadaqah. So not until you have plenty before you give sadaqah. Even if it is 1 naira, kullu tasbih in sadaqah, kullu ta'lil in sadaqah, kullu tahmid in sadaqah. When Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam in Medina told the companions that any la ilaha illallah that you do is sadaqah, Allah will reward you. Any hasbunallah that you do, Allah will reward you. Any la hawla wa la quwwata that you do, Allah will reward you. Because the companions went to meet him that zahaba al-fujur bil ujur, that the rich men, they have taken all the rewards. Because if they want to do this, they will bring their money. If Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam wants to buy weapons, they will bring their money. If you want to do this, so they were disturbed that we are less privileged people, that we don't have money. Nabi Muhammad now told them that any la ilaha illallah, singular la ilaha illallah that you do, it has 10 rewards. Sallallahu alaihi wasallam that you do, it has 10 rewards. So indicating that if the rich men too are also spending their money and they are doing this ta'lilat, they are doing this tasbihat, they are doing this ta'midat, they will be getting double reward. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us double reward. During the time of Imam Shafi, radiallahu ta'ala anhu, one person who was a Muslim brother, he stole somebody's money. Let's cite an example, 10 naira. He stole the what? He stole the 10 naira. He now took 1 naira out of it to go and invest in a masjid. Because he understood the verse of Quran that Allah said, Man ja'a bil hasana falahu ashrun amsalihha. Whoever does any one singular act of good, act of goodness, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to reward him in 10 manifolds. He now went to meet Imam Shafi, that yeah, Imam, this is what I do. I stole somebody's 10 naira, and I invested 1 naira from that 10 naira. So that 10 naira that is in the masjid, whenever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants to reward that person, wants to reward that 1 naira that Allah is going to reward in 10 manifold, the reward of the 10 manifold should go to the person that has stole his money. Imam Shafi radiallahu ta'ala now told him that it's a misconception. Yes, anybody that does something good, Allah will reward him 10 times. But you, the source of what you have done is haram because you stole. So even if that person is going to get a reward, you will be punished. Indicating that anything that is filthy, anything that is dirty, anything that is unlawful, we should not use it to do what? To do any act of ibadah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive every one of us. Amen. A poet said, conclusively, لو كان باللب يزداد لبيب غنى لكان كل لبيب مثل قارون. Money, wealth, fame, dignity, integrity, it is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that is to give. Knowledge, it is Allah subhanahu. That is why he said, وَمَا أُوتِيتُمْ مِنَ الْإِلْمِ إِلَّا قَلِيلًا.
in Surah Al-Isra. وَيَسْأَلُونَكَ عَنِ الرُّوحِ قُلِ الرُّوحُ مِنْ أَمْرِ رَبِّي وَمَا أُوتِيتُمْ مِنَ الْعِلْمِ إِلَّا قَلِيلًا. Allah said, we didn't give you any bounty knowledge except an infinitesimal one. If you are more intelligent than Google, what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given you is nothing to write home about. وَمَا أُوتِيتُمْ مِنَ الْعِلْمِ إِلَّا قَلِيلًا. Whatever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us is insignificant. So this poet now said, لَوْ كَانَ بِاللُّبِّن. I didn't mean it is the intelligence, it is the certificate, it is the honor, it is the mightiness of your parent in the society. يَزْدَادُ لَبِيبِ كُلَّ gina. If it is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has been considering to bless people. Don't you see majority of people on the road now riding Okada? We have first class people riding Okada. We have some of them riding keke napep. We have some of them driving trailers. Are they not intelligent? And they didn't do expo while they were in school. They were born like an AI. They say this guy has a very high IQ. But at the end of the day, Allah said, I gave you the IQ. Everybody will say, you know everything, but I will not put barakah. This is what me and you should be struggling for. Al-barakah. What do you mean by barakah? For ziyada. That is the meaning of barakah. All this that we are doing now, we are trying to enlighten ourselves. Let's wake up from state of slumber. Let's join the Sahabatu Kiram so that we can be in Al-Jannah to them. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us that He has accepted it from us. He hasn't. The prayer we have been observing for the past 30, 40 years now. The Ramadan we have been observing. Who can vouch his ego that say, yes, Allah ya karba. Why not Kimu? That's why we need to be asking Him. We need to be begging Him every time. And anytime we are begging Him, He is always happy with us. If it is the IQ, if it is the intelligence that you think that you have had, that you have gotten all this that me have given you. It is a poet that said this, so that all intelligent people will have been rich. Like whom? Like Korun. Are we getting the message? Majority of us, only God knows the number of countries that our parents, they travel to, they sojourn to, from one country to one country, they are looking for what? Greener pasture. They work so in Nigeria, they can't feed themselves. And they have wife, they have 3, 4 children. Not at all. My wife, I think I need to travel out of Nigeria. They went to Ghana. He still get to Ghana, 0. He went to Ivory Coast, 0. He went to Burkina Faso, 0. When he started having gray hair like my own, he said, at the age of 70, before I will now die here, they will be looking for my corpse. Because he doesn't have family there. And he has left his family maybe 30 years ago. Even the small children, they don't know. And there wasn't no Zoom, nothing. Is it not this our own age now that you can see somebody? 20 years ago, you'll be writing, is there anything like WhatsApp? Post office, if you want to send from Lagos to Kaduna here, maybe it's going to take 1 month. Through post office, for instance. But now, you can talk to somebody inside Kaaba. That open that door for me, even if they don't open it for you, if you know that the person you want to talk to inside Kaaba, here that we are standing, you call him and talk to him or her. That is the effort of technology. But then, he struggle. At the end of the day, nothing to show for it. But you are here today. Where they gave birth to you. It is where you went to primary school. You take advantage of the secondary school. You take advantage of the polytechnic or university. Allah wants to bless you. He allow you to get work in that place. And anything you lay your hands on, they are becoming prosperous. Does it mean that you are more intelligent and more sensible than your parent? That is what this malam is saying. If it is work that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala used to consider. Look at our brothers that used to use hand to break rocks. There are some rocks that you can't break them there with any mechanical device. And they are not closer to what? They are not closer to quarry. And they are in residential area. You can't even come and plant or what? You can't even come and erect a plant there, a quarry there. They'll be using hand. During Ramadan, inside scorching sun, you see them on it. I saw them very well in Zaria. Very, very well. By the end of the day, how much will be their reward? Very peanut. And somebody will sit down in office. The person that will serve him tea is different. The person that will serve the biscuit is different. The person that will carry the briefcase is different. The person that will sweep the office is different. The driver that will carry him to work in the morning is different. The one that will carry him in the evening is different. And we just ordinary one Bible. That is what you'll be using and will be determining 1,000 people's feet. Does it mean that he's more intelligent than us? And his father that gave birth to him is still in the village. He's still where he is for the past 40, 50 years. He can never show that this is what I've achieved in my life. That is what this man is saying. If it is work, majority are working like an elephant, but they are feeding, they are eating like an ant. Yoruba people used to say, you only work to fight poverty. It is only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that will crown your success. It's only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that can kudos your effort. So it's not the work. It is the blessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that you should be seeking for. It's not the same school that you went with the person that is helping his mother. Till now, after 20 years that you have graduated, he's still helping his mother to monitor the grinding machine that they are ananika and do the tomato. And you have been going up and down. You have traveled 1,000 countries. And this same person is more intelligent than you. He's the one that used to solve all your problems in your assignment in school. How are you better than him? How are you better than him? It is the blessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So, another Malam said again, Al-Karimu Habeebullahi law kana fasikan. Al-Karimu Habeebullahi law kana fasikan. The person that is honorable in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the person that used to give. Al-Karimu Habeebullahi law kana fasikan. Wal-Bakhilu Ad-Du'ah law kana musliman. Al-Karimu, person that used to give, is a friend of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Habeebullahi walau kana fasikan. Even if it's a fasika, if she an adult that sells her body. You know, we mentioned 2 weeks ago that among the two people that we call Allah in the midnight, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not answer their prayer. Number one among them is whom? Al-mar'atu tas'a bi farjiha. A woman that used to sell her private part for what? For sustenance. Or idandaudu, or gays and lesbians. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not answer their prayer. Number 2 is the person that is called a negotiator that used to cheat. He want to take you to go and buy something, he will stress you to collect money from you, and the seller too, you will stress him to collect money from him or her. Allah will not bless whatever that person gathers. So fasting, I want to define fasting. Somebody that doesn't pray. Somebody who is a fortune teller. Somebody that doesn't have respect for the society. Somebody that doesn't consider that a day of Qiyamah is coming. Who are fasting? Al-Karimu, the person that will be honorable in sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Habeebullahi walau kana fasikan. If that person is spending, is helping people, doesn't even respect Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but is giving to what aman sa'ila, is giving them. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, I will take that person as my friend in this world. He doesn't observe salah too. He doesn't fast too. He doesn't even know where Allah is. But he helps people. He used what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given him. He used it to help people. Allah said he's going to be my friend. Wa bakhilun, a miser. Marowachi, ahuburuku. Ad-Duah is going to be a foe, F-O-E, an enemy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Walau kana musliman, even if he's a Muslim, Allah said, al-bakhilu, marowachi, ahum, a miser who doesn't give what Allah has given him. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said he's going to be my enemy. Every one of us, whatever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us, we should share it with our people. Some people, Allah will not give them money, but you give them dignity. Anywhere they go to, they will honor them. Use that to your honor to help people. Some people, it's only one call that you make on their behalf, and it's going to change the dynamic of their life. It's going to be that your call will bring a turning point to their life. That is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given you. So it is knowledge to reawaken people. Use it so that you can become Karimullahi or Habeebullah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala be with every one of us. I want to be so much time conscious today, inshallah. And beauty of sadaqah. We can't enumerate everything now. There are some verses I want to bring from 2 chapters in the Holy Quran to let us know reason why we must do sadaqah. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the opportunity next week, I might start from here. Because this sadaqah has lots that we need to discuss before we proceed to any other point. Inna Allah ya'murukum bil adli wal ihsan wa ita'i zil qurba wa yanha 'anil fahsha'i wal munkar wal baghi ya'izukum la'allakum tadhakkarun. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is asking every one of us to do good. Ya'murukum bil adli. Let us be good. Wal ihsan. Let us be judged. Wal ihsan. Let us do good, which we are always explain to ourselves every time. Wa ita'i zil qurba, our family. Don't play with your family, not your wife and your children alone. By extension, your mother's family, your cousins, your nephews, your niece, you know them. Allah says we are enjoying you. If you are going to do good, you should listen to this our point so that we can grant you our eternal blessing. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala be with every one of us. Allahumma izal islam wal muslimin wa zilla shirka wal mushrikeen wa damir adaka ada ad-din wa ansur ibadaka al muwahhidin bi rahmatika ya arhamar rahimin. Allahumma ati nufusana taqwaha wa zakkiha anta khairu man zakkaha anta waliyuha wa mawlaha. Bismillah la ilaha illa huwa ismi shay'in fil ardi wa la fis sama. Raditu billahi rabban wa bil islam dinan abi muhammadin nabiyya sallallahu alaihi wasallam wa la hawla wa la quwwata illa billahi al-aliyyil azim. Qumu ila salatikum.